But all right, I think
Let's
it's fun
get
time.
to our tag team match.
We are in the process of booking fiction, and we're starting with the Infinity War, the Avengers Infinity War. And we can't do it in one episode. There's just too much going on. There's too many wrestlers in this federation to do it in one episode. So we're sticking with one match right now. And this is, we'll call it the second match of the movie, because the first match of the movie was Thanos versus the Hulk. And
it began with a squash match between he against Thor and Loki. A 2-on-1 match, handicap match, where he quickly dispersed.
You know what I think? That's Brock Lesnar versus the Hardy Boys when he first debuted. Loki and Thor are the Hardy Boys. They're brothers, real brothers, who are stars. The Hardys were stars when they showed up, or when Brock Lesnar showed up. They were bona fide stars. And what does Brock Lesnar do in his first pay-per-view match? Beats them both in a handicap match. There it is.
Funny enough, I had their entrance as them coming out to a very loud pyro with lightning everywhere, and Loki's so scared of the pyro that he like flinches and almost falls over. And their tag team finisher would be the Get Help.
Oh man. But now we're back on Earth. And it's time for our next match. And we're getting right into it, because as you know, the movie got right into it. And this next match takes place in MSG, New York. And it's Iron Man and Doctor Strange with Wong in their corner versus Cull Obsidian and Ebony Maw of the Black Order. And what I see is that... Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
What I see is you've got your hometown crew. Like if you're running an independent territory, you got your hometown crew, and that's Doctor Strange and Iron Man. And then you've got, let's say, maybe not quite a Bullet Club, but you got a big organization that's running, wrestling in a lot of different territories called the Black Order. And you're like, all right, we got the Black Order coming in for a special match tonight. They're going to be our draw. But, I'm the booker.
So picture it. You hear a loud hum. The lights go out. The Jumbotron comes on. And you see a giant ship coming in. And you hear the rumble. Lights come on, and Cull Obsidian and Ebony Maw are standing there.
And rejoice. That's what their music would be. It'd be just like classic orchestral choir, like rejoice, and they just slowly walk to the ring, almost like as if they were Undertaker and Paul Bearer.
There you go.
Ebony Maw is like the Paul Bearer. He's the mouthpiece, and Cull Obsidian is just stomping to the ring. This big heavy bruiser.
There's definitely something mystical about them.
Yes.
And we're going to go very Lucha Underground with this. Ebony Maw is going to have several weird moves, like the invisible clothesline and the invisible throw over the top rope and stuff like that.
Love it.
Cull Obsidian's the big heater, the muscle. So then you hear this wacky mashup theme song as Iron Man and Doctor Strange come out together, because they're typically singles wrestlers. So now they're going to come up with some uninspired team name like Iron Strange or something like that. And fans
what about Iron Strangers?
Iron Strangers, I love it. What's confusing to me about this movie is the Avengers are obviously the good guys.
Right.
They use heel tactics throughout the entire film. They have Wong in their corner, a manager in their corner. They have constant outside interference from, in this case, from Bruce Banner.
Right.
Who all he does is end up distracting them.
However, we're going to save Spider-Man for this one. Save Spider-Man for later. because we got to talk about the finish, but we're going to talk about that later.
All right.
So we got the Iron Strangers. They're coming out to a mashup theme song. Now, I don't know what Doctor Strange's theme song is going to sound like. I'm going to say something really 60s, because if you've ever read the classic Doctor Strange books, or, you know, like I remember I saw, I read one of the books from the late 80s, early 90s, the Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange team-ups. It's a very like 60s hazy type deal. I'm thinking he's going to get something that just sounds like a fake knockoff of Jimi Hendrix is going to be Doctor Strange music. You know what I'm talking about?
Like a knockoff Purple Haze or something.
Yeah. Whereas, well, Iron Man, he's got his pick on his mashup, and these things are not going to sound perfect. They're going to sound really awful when mashed together, like these mashup theme songs often do.
I'm thinking for Iron Man more of like an AC/DC Back in Black type.
Right? Because he actually had entrance music in the first Avengers movie. When he shows up to fight Loki, his music precedes him.
Exactly.
Shoot to kill, right?
There you
However,
go.
AC/DC seems like the obvious choice, but we're 90s kids.
All right.
So you probably remember the 90s animated Iron Man theme song.
Oh, there you go.
Now, I don't know if I can't play it here, but I might put a link in the description to like a video that features that song. Not that anyone's going to be listening to this, but if they do, they'll know what we're talking about. The I am Iron Man. And it like starts out with his music, and then it, you know, goes into Doctor Strange's music, because Iron Man's music is going to be first. He is the Bret Hart. He is the, you know, the John Cena of this mashup team. No offense to Doctor Strange, but
of course,
right.
Doctor Strange is fairly a newcomer to this promotion.
So they come in. They obviously, Iron Man's cutting a promo.
As always,
he's cutting a promo on the way to the ring, and Strange is just standing, just letting him do his thing. He's the mouthpiece. Strange is the guy. And now we talk in the style of wrestling, because these guys are coming in. They're a tag team, but they're singles wrestlers. So what kind of a wrestler is Iron Man?
I'm thinking kind of like a Triple H type.
Okay.
He gets in his opponent's heads. I guess he's the Avengers cerebral assassin, if you want to put it that way.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, but you're right. He is the Triple H, and he's not going to be even though he's a flyer superhero, he's not going to be a high flyer. That's not how he fights.
That's right.
And while he has strategy, you know, we're not talking about like technical expertise as far as combat is concerned. His strategy is usually pre-planning. He's usually planning those strategies long before he ever gets into the fight. So yeah, just like Triple H, the cerebral assassin. I like that. I'm thinking he's very much like Kazuchika Okada.
The Rainmaker.
The Rainmaker. He makes it rain. He rocks gold and sometimes red. And like, he's not a high flyer or anything like that. He's a very just ground-based, solid wrestler. You know?
I like it.
With occasional dives. I can see Iron Man doing a dive from time to time. Which is, I picked Okada because when I think of what Iron Man's finisher would be, the Rainmaker clothesline is one I think would be Iron Man's finisher.
There you go.
The repulsor clothesline, if you will.
The repulsor clothesline.
That I think is going to be Iron Man's finisher. What's Doctor Strange wrestling style?
He's definitely more of a finesse type worker. I wouldn't call him a high flyer. That's more of
definitely not
Spider-Man's area. Maybe like a Randy Orton type psychologist.
Ooh, you know what? You're absolutely right. Because I was thinking something along the lines of technical expertise, lots of ground-based work. Like he gets them on the ground, and we got a guy who's probably applying a lot of wrist locks and knee bars and things like that. He's probably got him on the ground. He's surgically taking them apart, much like Randy Orton would do. He's stomping on every part of his body. Because yeah, you're right. He's a doctor. He's not going to be out there doing all sorts of fancy high flying moves. He's
a surgeon. He's picking his opponents apart.
That's right.